The World Cup has a Haaland problem, a very serious Haaland problem, because for the first time in his life, Erling Haaland has been fully unleashed on football's biggest stage, and the rest of the tournament is starting to understand what that actually means. This is not just a famous striker scoring a few goals. This is not just Manchester City's number 9 bringing club form into international football. This is something much scarier. This is the most ruthless finisher in world football, turning Norway from a nice story into a real threat. Before Haaland, Norway were respected, but nobody feared them like this. They had history, pride, and talented players, but they were not a team the Giants expected to avoid. Now, everything has changed. Haaland scored and scored until World Cup qualification stopped looking impossible. He helped Norway reach the tournament for the first time since 1998. Then when he arrived, he did not slow down. Goals against Iraq, goals against Senegal, a decisive strike against Ivory Coast, then 2 goals against Brazil, the 5-time world champions, to push Norway into the quarterfinals for the first time in their history. This is his first World Cup, and he is already scoring like he has owned this stage for years. That is not normal. That is not just form. That is the Haaland effect. He does not only change the score, he changes what an entire country believes is possible. To understand how dangerous this has become, look at the run. Haaland has been scoring for Norway like international football is a personal training drill. 14 straight matches with a goal. 27 goals in that stretch. 62 goals in only 54 matches for his country. He is already Norway's all-time top scorer, and the numbers look so strange they almost stop feeling real. Some strikers chase records for a decade. Haaland treats them like checkpoints. One match, one goal. Another match, another goal. Another stadium, another defense. Another goalkeeper picking the ball out of the net. And yes, context matters. Mbappé has scored in World Cup finals. Messi and Cristiano built international legacies across generations. But Haaland's scoring rhythm is still outrageous. The pace is different, the efficiency is different, the feeling is different. He does not need 10 chances. He does not need constant involvement. He does not even need to look like he is controlling the match. He just waits, reads, moves, and finishes. That is why Norway are suddenly dangerous. Haaland has changed their ceiling. He changed what opponents fear. He changed what the shirt means. Before, Norway could play well and still be treated like outsiders. Now, if Haaland is on the pitch, no opponent is safe. Not Iraq, not Senegal, not Ivory Coast, not even Brazil. But this explosion did not come from nowhere. Haaland has been building toward this moment for years. At Molde, he was still raw, still growing into his body, still learning how cruel he could become inside the box. Then came the match that changed everything. Against Brann, the unbeaten league leaders with the strongest defense in Norway, Haaland scored 4 goals in the first 21 minutes. 4 goals before the match had even truly settled. That was the first warning. Norway saw it first. Europe saw it next. At Salzburg, Europe started paying attention. He did not arrive quietly. He arrived like a storm. On his Champions League debut, he scored a first-half hat-trick. Then he kept scoring in match after match until it became impossible to call it hype. Liverpool, Napoli, Genk. The level kept rising and Haaland kept answering. He was still a teenager, but the pattern was already there. One run, one pass, one finish, and the game was changed. Then Dortmund confirmed the nightmare. He came off the bench on his debut and scored a hat-trick in 23 minutes. He bullied defenders in Germany. He destroyed PSG with power and precision. He made elite football look simple. And that was when the world understood. Haaland was not just a talent, he was a weapon.
Erling had been incredible since the start, but especially this season is better than ever. Even, I would say, better than the treble year in terms of dynamics and everything.
And then Manchester City happened. Under Pep Guardiola, Haaland did not just become a better striker. He became the final piece of a machine that already knew how to dominate football. Some people wondered if he would fit. They thought City's system needed a false 9, a technical connector, someone who touched the ball constantly. Haaland answered with goals, not arguments, not explanations. Goals, brutal goals, simple goals, record-breaking goals. In his first season in England, he broke the Premier League scoring record with 36 league goals. Across all competitions, he scored 52 in 53 matches. City won the Premier League, the FA Cup, and the Champions League, the treble, the one thing the club had chased for years. And Haaland was not just part of it. He was the sharpened edge, the final punishment, the player who turned control into destruction. Since then, the records have kept falling. Fastest to milestones, hat tricks everywhere, Champions League destruction, Premier League dominance. But the real point is not only the numbers, it is what defenders feel when they play against him. They cannot relax, they cannot lose him, they cannot step late. Because Haaland does not need rhythm to punish you, he only needs the mistake. At this World Cup, the pattern has been brutal. Most of his goals have come from first-time finishes. Most of his shots have been taken immediately. He does not dribble through 3 players. He does not need stepovers. He does not need 20 touches to feel the game. He understands the final second better than almost anyone alive. The ball arrives, and by the time the defender understands what is happening, the shot is already gone. The secret is timing. Haaland does not always sprint early. That is what makes him so hard to defend. Against Senegal, when Norway broke forward through Odegaard, Haaland waited. He did not waste the run. He watched the defender, watched the passing lane, watched the space open. Then, the moment the center back stepped toward the ball, Haaland attacked the blind side. One burst, one pass, one first-time finish. That is not just speed. That is patience weaponized. Against Brazil, he showed the full version of the monster. For the first goal, he did not fight Gabriel too early. He walked, he waited, he let the defender relax for half a second. Then, when the pass came, he activated. The movement was so sudden that by the time Brazil reacted, the chance was already finished. That is not just power. That is control of timing at an elite level. And this is why Norway are no longer just Haaland plus 10 players. Yes, he is the monster at the end of the move, but the team around him now believes in the pattern. Odegaard gives them vision, rhythm, and the pass before the pass. Nusa gives them width and courage. Sørloth gives them physical presence. The midfield works, the defenders suffer, and everyone knows that if they can stay alive long enough, Haaland can turn one attack into history. That is the psychological shift. Norway do not need to control 70% of the ball. They do not need to outplay every opponent. They do not need to look like France, Brazil, or Argentina. They need discipline, patience, and one clean chance. Because when you have Haaland, one clean chance is not just a chance. It is a threat to the entire tournament. That is why Norway are the dark horse nobody can ignore anymore. They have already made history. They have already beaten Brazil. They have already gone further than any Norway team at a World Cup. But now the dangerous question begins. What if this is not the end of the story? What if Norway were not invited to the tournament just to make history? What if they are here to ruin someone else's? But here is the twist. Haaland's greatest strength can also become Norway's biggest danger, because when one player is this decisive, the entire world knows where the threat is coming from. Every opponent will build the game around stopping him. They will block the crosses. They will crowd the box. They will pull defenders closer. They will force Norway to find answers from somewhere else. And that is the real test now. Can Norway give Haaland enough service when the pressure rises? Can Odegaard find him when 2 midfielders are closing the lane? Can the wide players deliver when fullbacks are sitting deep? Can Norway survive the long spells where they have to defend and wait? Haaland can finish the story, but Norway still have to write the pages that get the ball to him. But that is also what makes this terrifying. You can stop Norway for 80 minutes. You can silence the crowd. You can make Haaland look invisible. And then one defender switches off, one ball drops, one run starts, and everything you built disappears. So yes, the World Cup has a Haaland problem. Not because he touches the ball more than everyone else. Not because he plays the most beautiful football. Not because he needs the game to revolve around him every second. He is dangerous because he has reduced scoring to its purest form. Movement, timing, power, finish, again and again and again. This is his first World Cup, but it does not feel like an introduction anymore. It feels like a takeover. He has already carried Norway into history. He has already terrified Brazil. He has already shown that the biggest stage does not shrink him, it feeds him. And if Norway keep finding him, if Odegaard keeps seeing the pass, if the service keeps coming, then this tournament could become something nobody expected. Because Norway do not need to be the best team in the world. They only need the best striker in the world to get one more chance. And right now, that might be the scariest thing left in this World Cup.